every corner. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you ladder. My ego don't come. My people make we shout. My ego don't come. My ego don't come, man of the masses. My ego don't come. My ego die political. My ego don't come. This one not day off in mind. My ego don't come. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my yegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my yegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my yegun don't come. So my people make you laugh. My yegun don't come. My people make you shout. My yegun don't come. Man of the masses. My ego don't come. My ego diary political. My ego don't come. This man not the off in mind. My ego don't come. Aha. Now you not done here. All these bad politicians, them we call themselves politicians. When they thief our money, we no want make the common man get waiting suppose get for this country. Una never hear something. Now go hear one. My ego, you go show na paper. My ego diary political. So my people make you shout. My ego don't come. My people make we laugh. Come, my ego don't come, man of the masses. My ego don't come. My ego diary political. My ego don't come. Ha, this one not they off in mind.
Hello there. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live. Sunday sermon on Mayegun's Diary Political, a no holds bar session on Mayegun's Diary Political. You are welcome. Share this broadcast. Seun Kuti is trending, not for anything really good. He slapped a police officer, and while some are asking for his head, others are asking that justice must be done, while others as well are saying he should have done more because the Nigerian police are an evil cult that have done worse to Nigerians. All of these will be put into perspective on today's sermon. Share the broadcast.
Lórí Facebook.
Thank you so much.
Lórí YouTube.
Kuti.
Bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Ayé ṣúra 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 ṣúra. Che, help us, oh, help us. There is God, oh. There is God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh. God should descend, oh, today God will descend here. Nigerian women will not cry in vain. Nigerian women will not cry in vain. This thing will end today. My sisters, if your child lost, will you stay and keep quiet? Will you people stay and keep quiet? The president now is calling you, come, I want to help you. You don't want to appear. Will you agree? No.
You get it? Okay. If you don't get it, forget about it.
Thank you very much. Sorry for that little interruption, okay? I kind of always suffer that software, interruption. But yeah, that is me back. Happy Sunday to those of you who are already on Sunday and to those who are already living Sunday. This is the Sunday sermon on Mayegun's Diary Political. It is a no holds bar session, which means you have to see Mayegun in his real element. I mean, where he calls spade. And in this case, the truth can sometimes make you uncomfortable. It's called uncomfortable truth. The latest development is like the hunter becoming the hunted. The election in Nigeria, this particular charade of 2023, really exposed a lot about Nigeria and Nigerians generally. For the first time, we kind of get to see the true colors of those who have been together with many, many of us like that for years now, standing up against a corrupt, brutish system or government in Nigeria. People turned on themselves. Activists turned on the people they pretended to be defending for years. Influencers, they became spokespersons for the same establishment that they have pretentiously for years stood up against. But somehow, a lot of us who have kind of predicted the charade and all the shenanigans that surrounds it, we never predicted the amount of exposure, of the people that many of you held in high esteem. And why did that happen? Usually in Nigeria, people thrive, kind of. If you don't have, these, these famous names as your second names, so you thrive to build something, get to a stage where when social media came, people became influencers. They didn't have to be part of the system to mobilize and, in fact, influence odds of people's kind of choices. It happens that way. And because of this, over time, politicians have always been targeting those who are mostly outspoken. Outspoken in the sense that they have the crowd. They have a lot of people that kind of listen to them. So politicians find ways to influence them. In other words, in order to influence the people that follow them. 2023 election exposed all of that. The people that we kind of all were friends with, they fell along the line and they turned against the same people. And somehow they became defenders of the same system that they once stood up against. So we saw that in this 2023. We saw people expended their energy on especially the obedient, in particular the obedient. Now, let me explain that to you. Before 2022, almost all of us professed the evilness, the evil of ABC, Egbekegbe, as well as the evil of people destroying people. We all thought these two hands of leprosy have been rejected by a lot of us. And we seem to be in the same camp. Well, maybe not in the same camp, but at least we had the same common enemy. Then 2022 came. And like magic, Nigeria's supposed activists, human rights activists, young and old, they turned up against the same people's movement and they labeled them almost everything. In fact, at a point, it became like it is a normal thing. Like it is, no, there's a particular word I'm looking for. Like it is the fulfillment of all righteousness to attack them. I mean, a lot of you who kind of didn't pay attention to this division, I decided to take you back to pre-2022. Pre-2022, if you really want the people's attention, just speak more about the failure that they are suffering, the failure of government that they are suffering. Yeah, everybody will agree with you. It was more or less like was going to be a unanimous decision that a disestablishment that serves the interest of a few people must go. Of course, we know that the system has their own supporters too. But you will think, with the level of dissenting voices, a time will come, just like if you asked for a revolution, you would expect everyone that disagrees with this current system, if they are in the majority, that will bring a success to a revolution, Abi. That means everybody will drop everything else and they will unite under one accord in a revolution and say, this system must go down. Now, when the obedience started, I realized that from my own experience, Nigerians don't really hate corruption. They don't hate oppression. Police brutality and every other criminality that you might have seen out there, Nigerians don't hate them. If you probe very well, like I did, you will realize that the only reason why majority of Nigerians are complaining about bad government, about corruption, about oppression, about everything you've heard Nigerians lament about all your life, when you push further, you realize that they are complaining because they are not the ones doing the oppression. They are not the ones doing the stealing or benefiting from that stealing. And that's the moment they have a chance of expressing themselves how they actually feel. You know, that kind of freedom of, I want to do what I want. I could do what I want and get away with it. Then you realize that a typical Nigerian is not different from the same criminal politician, the leaders they elect or they select or they read for. They are not really different per se. The only difference is that the moment you climb that ladder out of the ordinary Nigerian circle, then you have that kind of feeling that you could do whatever you want. Anyway, the election brought a lot of division. In fact, so many people said the reasons why they will never want somebody like Obi to be president of Nigeria is because of his supporters. His supporters are so rude. His supporters are so intolerant. His supporters are this, and that. So they decided to make up every goddamn lie that they can, no matter how ridiculous they sound. Yeah? And these are coming from the people that we were once together, exposing the danger that this current establishment represents. They have been victims themselves too on several occasions. But Mayegu, was just here watching the whole drama. And at a point I was like, are these people really under spell? Is there something else that are not really known that, are just coming out now? Like, what is really wrong? What do they really want? But obviously, knowing what Nigeria is and who Nigerians are, 8 out of 10 Nigerians you meet is not against anything going on in Nigeria per se. They are only against them if they are not the one doing them. Remember? So a lot of supposed human rights activists, they turn to woman rights cash activists. And if you therefore identify with obedient, you will become a primary target of theirs. Even when you are attacked, or when you are killed, when they come out to pretend to condemn the attacks or the killings, if they did at all, they will still find a small space to blame you and say, because you are intolerant, you can't take this, you can't take that. And guess what? As shocking as this might be for people like us who thought there's going to be a sort of, I did tell people, I said, listen, after this whole charade and this nonsense, right, I would kind of expect those who, for some reason, made us believe that they didn't agree with the nonsense going on in Nigeria for years. Maybe now that their charade is over, they can come back to their senses and stop helping the establishment, right, to justify why people deserve the leaders they have. But unfortunately, Baba, everybody double down, including our own vintage Showore. Yeah, I'll come back to that of a Showore a bit. Nigeria system is brutish, and those who are supposed to uphold the law are criminals. And most of their criminalities are not seen as crimes. They see them as normal. For example, if you see a slightly okay Nigerian exercising that is little privilege, something that makes him a little bit different from his other peers who don't have what he has, just little, you will see them, or listen, you will hear them tell you every small thing. Do you know who I am? Do you know who you are talking to? And guess what? The people who have seen themselves as below class to that person, they will begin to try to explain to the other person and say, do you know who you are talking to? Some of you don't even know who you are talking to. If they bring this in and they use the police to send you to jail now, people will be begging. They will be saying that they are using the power of money, or they are using power over you. It is like mentally, all right. So to oppress whoever you think is below you. So in Nigeria, we have a variety of oppression. So let's take the politicians. Okay, in fact, let's start from them. The politicians oppressed the institutions that they have captured, including the police. Because of their own corruption, the policing system in Nigeria, which is, modeled after the colonial policing system, which was simply to cage and cower the citizens, not to provide security for them. A lot of you don't know this. Nigeria police is not established to provide security for you or protect you, even if they keep telling you same. But you know that their actions are not to protect you. No. Their main action is to protect the system, defend and protect the establishment. And who are the system? The politicians, the elites and the rest of them. So therefore, the police that is meant to provide security, prevent crime, and indeed prosecute criminals, they ended up providing a whole security for the criminal gang, the elite, and the political class. So you will see the policemen in Nigeria carrying the handbags of the wives of their own bosses. These bosses are not police bosses, so they are politicians that they are assigned to. You will see policemen in Nigeria, right, going into the market to buy foodstuffs for the boss wife. I mean, a lot of ridiculing, and they are contented with that. So whenever the establishment feels threatened, they send the police after that threat, including their citizens. That's how it works. Now, when you now leave the politicians out, leave those ones in power out, and then come down to those who don't have political power. Some don't even have political influence, but they do have money. So having money at a certain level will give you the easy pass, easy access to the commissioners of police in your different states, and they can provide you your own private security. That is, assign to you your own private policemen. They are going to be paid by Nigeria as Nigerian policemen, but you are going to pay the commissioner of police, who is then in return going to give this policemen some handout to permanently stay with you. Do you get the level of how they are sharing that, right? Now, if you therefore, for any reason, okay, hang on, before we get to that, if you are now famous, this time around you are a politician, or you are a social media influencer that has money, right? Famous. You are entitled to the same privilege as long as you have your money to to pay. So they will provide you same security, same leverage, and in the process, if you are in any trouble, your money can also clear you with a single phone call. It doesn't matter the kind of whatever you are doing. You have the privilege of allowing the police to search you or not to search you. We see this whole number of people I'm listening out now, right? Politicians, pastors, sheikh, imams, Miyeti Allah, and the rest of all these gangs. Everybody shall have their own different police protection. You pay for them. You see, the rest of the policemen in Nigeria and women who have no privilege of serving as private security to privileged individuals in Nigeria, they are then unleashed on the rest of you. Remember, they are not paid well. They are not paid well. No real training. In fact, a lot of retired or sort of convicted criminals, ex-convicts, are finding their ways into the same Nigerian police force because it is a criminal or the den of criminals. So they unleash them on you. And the brutality just like... So in the process, it became a pandemic that it led to a mass revolt and SARS protest in Nigeria. Everyone came out to come and share their sad story in the hands of these murderous police criminals. So when Sir, sorry, I'm hearing an alarm. So I want to know if I need to evacuate my family, in case. Anyway, that was the brutality. But like I said, if you pay attention very well, you don't even need to pay too much attention to know. The oppression as it is coming from the top, layer by layer, everybody get to know that you know your place. If you don't belong to any of those categories, you are not a family of the criminal politicians. You are not related to any of these, you are not famous, and you are not related to any famous person in Nigeria, then you are on your own. You are going to be in the basket of the remaining 95% of us who have no such privilege. And whatever happened to us, it is either we caused it, or because we were trying to prove our right, because we have no right. So police brutality is something that made so many Nigerians to hate the police. Oh dear. Nigerians hate police, so. And that is why some are doing everything they can. Number one, to avoid police entirely, or try to befriend the police and be their friend and pretend to be friend with them. And being friend with them means you'll be parting with your money and you'll be giving them, you'll be taking care of it, like you are bribing them, so that in case if you run into trouble, that won't save you. It will only buy you time until you get into one that is pretty much out of your space. Because even those ones that claim to be famous, they also get roughed up by this same criminal police in Nigeria. So, police have no friend. I mean, they have families. They have their supposed circle, immediate friends, of course. But in Nigeria, nobody is police friend. It got so bad that police, they have to start a campaign. I remember back then, police is your friend. Police is your friend. No, you are not my friend, though. Police is your friend. No, you are not my friend. If you see if armed robbers are chasing you, they want to rob you, and you see a police checkpoint in front of you, you are advised to run back to the armed robbers, because the armed robbers will take whatever you have, and they will disappear. Police will rob you, and they will rope you. You know what that means? They will rob you, and then they will accuse you of being an armed robber. If you want to try to get whatever they rob from you back, that's how bad they are, and you can end up in jail for a crime you didn't commit. That's how bad it is. So they say, police is your friend. Bail is free. All kind of lies. One of those lies, when they say that there are many lies in Nigeria, many, many lies, and they are national lies. Here you get. If they say Nigeria is one, that is a lie. Nigeria is not one. You know that. Police is your friend. No, it's a lie. Police is not your friend. Bail is free. Of course, it's a lie. A national lie. Bail is not free in Nigeria. Of course, somebody said, Mayegun, there are still good policemen. Okay. Thank you for reminding us that there are still good policemen. But here is something. This is the fact where even policemen in Nigeria, are you with me? They know how much people despise them. And it is simply because of this act. People have been shot because they are unable to give them the password, the PIN number to their phones. Police will collect your phone in Nigeria. They are not looking for anything. They are looking for if you have any foreign number, like you have somebody you are phoning or called you from abroad, or you have sent a text message that has a bank balance, for example, your account balance as a text message. They are looking for things that will eventually say, okay, you have to pay, you have to give us also amount of money. If you say no, they will then have to rope you by accusing you of a crime you didn't commit. So eventually, your people will have to pay more to get you free because they don't want you to go to jail. That's how corrupt they are. In so many places, because they allow the policemen to travel free in Nigeria. They go onto the public bus and they don't pay. Here you get. Now, police got so hated At some point, there are some of them, they take off their uniform before going into public transport. That's how bad it became. And they, for once, never had any intention of reforming them. So a lot of us joined in condemning police brutality. This is absolute nuts. This is lawlessness. What kind of a place is this? What kind of a country is this? Like I told you, majority of those who are condemning the police themselves, they are those who have become the victims of this police brutality. But in that same circle, you see those who are Nigerians themselves, who are also using the same policemen to brutalize other poor Nigerians. And the poor Nigerians will have to go and beg the man. Imagine somebody who raped your daughter. Somebody raped your daughter. But he's a big man in your area. He's connected. Rape your daughter repeatedly. And it became public and everybody is enraged. Oh, yeah. And then the next thing, police showed up in your house early in the morning. They arrest you, arrest your wife, arrest your daughter. And before you know it, a lawyer appeared and they said they are suing you for defamation so as to shut you up. No investigation, no nothing. The rape part of it is now going to be, you are accusing a big man, you want to destroy him. That's why you said he raped your daughter. That's how Nigeria is. So rather than investigate that accusation, people will begin to go and beg the big man. And please help us release mommy and daddy, mommy Dammy and daddy Dammy. And a devil used them. The pastor went to the police station yesterday and they said that they are even like blaming their daughter for lying against you. This is the kind of this society people live. I'm talking about people who are not even in government but little money. So you get. You will see a woman will walk out and he will slap a policeman in traffic. Bah! Madam, what do you do? They'll say, oh, she's the wife of a soldier. Really? The wife of a soldier? And true to it, you will see a soldier walking behind her. And they would have to force the policeman to apologize to madam because she's the wife of a soldier. Do you get that? But because it is a lawless place, a lot of the victims can't fight back. They have nobody to fight for them. They have no institution to curtail these people. And in fairness, by the way, there are many, many police brutalities I have seen on social media where the police officers have been arrested by the police themselves. Though a lot of people will say, oh, we don't know what happened to them later. That's a story for another time, isn't it? Well, yeah, in fairness to them, we have seen so many police brutality videos on social media that we ended up having to see the policemen arrested, derobed, some of them sacked, and standing trial for either killing someone or robbing somebody. We have that. But of course, those who are the victims, when they see the brutality from those who are fairly off than them, using that power and leverage. And listen to this, there are millions of people who have actually experienced this in their lifetime, where they have to use the system. One big man in your area do that. Or the madam, the wife of the commissioner, or the wife of this or that, or the son of the governor, the son to this and that. It's been a while I've actually seen that. And all of us who condemn that all the time, you would expect that you don't want to get caught in such acts. But there are explanations here before we begin to dish out blames. Seun Kuti, one of our Aluta Continua, Victoria, other stuff. People who detest the systemic brutality, systemic this and that. A lot of us who actually would do worse when there is no camera, if we lay our hands on these police officers. I know many of you that will actually do worse if the camera is not on. But for somebody who is an international artist, here is what I think. If this happened in the UK, the police in Nigeria are so lawless that they themselves, they don't obey the traffic rules. Sure you get? The police escort will be the one breaking the traffic rule because they are taking Oga's wife for manicure and nail, nail painting. Madam want to go and do a manicure. She's going to be late for her appointment. She want to go and fix her hair, and they will put on a siren, breaking the law, and it's so regular. And people will just ease as they are passing, driving rough. Seun and his family, they were traveling in a small family car, and something happened, and that was they had a hit from behind, and it was the police van that somehow, as usual, ran into them, and the shock of like that. And then you look back, the anger that, oh, finally we stopped. What happened? What? And then you open the door and you look back, you see that you are actually like hit from behind. From my own driving training, they said when something like that happens, the first thing you check is, number one, is everyone okay? And number two, if everyone is okay, quickly, if it is a busy road, quickly bring everyone out of the car and move them to safety first. Leave the car, get everyone out of the car and take them to safety and call the police or call your insurance. It's a very simple thing. Here, no matter how angry you might be, because if you do anything at that point, you will be committing a crime. It won't be about, auto crash anymore. It's very simple. But Nigerian system have destroyed Nigerians so much that even those who are supposed to be in the know, a lot of them are walking around, with serious mental problem with what Nigeria is. They said 80% of Nigerians have mental health problem. Do you think 80% of those people, they will be walking around, naked and wearing this or that? Everyone suffers that act of insanity every hour in Nigeria. And those are just for those who are trying to keep their sanity all the time. But every hour, you get spark, you get that charge. Something wants to make you get angrier. But safety of your family should be first. That, whatever happened first, you've managed to stop. You evacuate the family from the car. If the car is still drivable, fair enough. But whatever it is, you don't touch anything in that scene. So if you now come out and you realize that you are just hit by a police van, that even makes it easier. They just have to report themselves. But that will never make it up to you if you know that you have managed to step a little bit up above that poverty threshold in Nigeria. How dare you run into me? That is to a police officer or a group of police officers, the same people that will shoot you simply because you are not giving them the password to your phone. Normally, when that happens, and you are not Seun Kuti, what would you do? You will come out, say, officer, do you want to kill us? What is all this? Look at you have, you can rage, you can rake, you can do all of that. But they are holding their guns. What are you going to do? You're going to walk to them and slap them? Of course you won't. You see the difference? You see the difference? There are things I'm going to do that I'm going to regret, but no matter the regret I'm going to have, it can't be compared to those who are not in that my level. If they try same in that same system, they will be dead even before everybody asks what happened. No, you'll be dead. Now later they go come, they say he slap police officer. They will say there is no proof. He no slap you. He no slap you. They don't kill Amo. They don't kill Efeo. They don't kill Kunleo. They don't kill your weight. He no slap police officer. Police saying slap Amo. Sure you get, because you're dead. So what happened? The policemen ran into Seun. No full report yet. Bah! In anger and in that shock as well, because I'll be shocked. If you are a driver, from my own experience, so if you're a driver and you are just going on and then you just by surprise that you just have to match your brake, like maybe somebody just in front of you and you have to match that brake. Sometimes when you go down from that your 70, 80, and you are going down to 50, 40, like you are going down in the next 2-3 minutes, that shock is still going to be around you. It's not going to be a shock that will make you do anything, but it's just going to make you feel like, oh my God. In order to regain your balance, to regain your composure, that speed, that national speed you are maintaining, it will take you time to get back into it and get fully into your driving again. Have you experienced that? Well, I'm not a long-time driver. I've been driving for about 4 years or so now, or 3 years rather. So, which simply means I'm speaking from experience. So, whatever that shock was, this was Seun's reaction. Okay, look at it. Do you see that? Wow. You dey crazy? You dey mad? You want to kill my family? You want to kill us? Oh my God. Did Seun just slap the police officer? In this divided Nigeria. That everybody is looking for a gotcha moment. And it's more, people are like, oh my God, did he just do that? Yes, he did. That's the crime he committed. No matter, and in fact, they said the policeman, immediately Seun came out of the car. In fact, the policeman came down first the moment that crash happened. And immediately Seun came out of his car with anger. The policeman started begging him. Sorry. I'm very sorry, sir. I'm very sorry. Because they quickly recognized him. Seun Kuti. Now for last somebody so sorry. We are so sorry. We are so sorry for this. We are sorry, sir. Are you mad? You want to kill me? Worse. And the policeman was still there like, sorry, sir. Sorry. We are very sorry. His wife came down from that same car. I don't know how many people in that car. I don't know if there are children in the car. But his wife came down, or a lady that everyone believed was his wife, or is his wife, came down and he was like, oh, Baba commanded her back inside. Though. I will do same anyway, but not that way. So, hey, miss, go inside, because everything here escalates here right now. These people may start shooting. You get that? Like, that could be a good excuse. A typical African man, right? Or a typical man who wants to protect the family, even though they are not safe right there. In fact, his action endangered the lives of his family even more than the accident that first happened, in my own view. Because if things escalated just there, it could put he was putting the life of his family in danger. Beyond those unprofessional policemen that ran into him. And that's exactly the gotcha moment that automatically makes people to say, those who kind of condemn bad behavior or bad behaviors, most of them actually have bad behaviors too. Me, I have my own bad behavior. I won't lie to you. Sure you get. And one of my bad behavior is that I am very stubborn. And most of the time when I use my stubbornness to do something, I regret. I don't share my regrets. I don't share and I don't try to blame anybody. I just sit down here and start blaming myself like, damn it. Yeah, once in a while I take it on the, on the rest of the household by just trying to just be moody and all of that. Because I've made a stupid mistake. Because I wanted to be stubborn. That's a bad behavior for me too. Well, maybe not so bad, like slapping a police officer or even slapping anybody. I don't have that lever to raise my hand and slap my son, no matter what he did, whatever he did. Do you know what that means? To be raised in Nigeria and have the restrained control of not raising your hand, on hitting the people. Something that is so common. Police officer will slap you. They will beat you like you have done something wrong just because they just want to intimidate you and get something from you. Your partner will do something and you're so angry. Oh. And you begin to show love again. I'm so sorry, dear. I'm so sorry. You made me angry. That's why I slapped you. A lot of our brothers here are in jail in the UK because